So Maharaj began speaking about what is purity. First principle of purity is to understand who we are and that we're insignificant. Shastra says, Keshagra Shatabhagasya Shatita Kopitasya Cha. That if you take the tip of a hair, Keshagra, and you divide it 100 times, then you take that 100th part of a tip of a hair and divide it 100 times. This is the dimension of the Atma, the soul, that pervades our entire body. How big are we? We're insignificant. If we want to maintain the principle of purity, understand our situation. Brahma Samhita says, Lakshmi Sahasrasata Sambrahmasebhyamanam Govinda Mari Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Lord is being worshipped by crores of gopikas. Does he need our service? He doesn't need our service. Once, I was attending a function with the Indian community. I was the pujari at the time, and my car got boxed in by someone else's car. I couldn't leave, and I had to go back to the temple to offer arti and bhog. So I had to find that person. I'm frantically trying to find whose car is this? Oh, it's your car. Please move your car. I have to go back to the temple to offer puja to the Lord. He said, Lord doesn't need your service. I said, that's true, but I need to serve the Lord. Please move your car. This is our position. The Lord doesn't need our service. What can we actually do for Him? This is the first principle of purity. Purity means purity of mind, purity of body, and purity of action. And purity of speech also. It's not a rubber stamp, but I put a very nice tilak, nice kurta, nice shika, sari, bindi. Now I'm a devotee. That doesn't make the devotee. The dress does not make the man. Dress does not make the woman. What is our internal understanding of who we are in this world and how insignificant we actually are? Once, there was a devotee in our Los Angeles temple in the very early days of ISKCON. He was causing a great commotion amongst the devotees, being very, very bossy. Hey, Prabhu, do this! Prabhu! What does Prabhu mean? Prabhu means, you're my master, and I am your servant. And he became very arrogant, bossy. So the devotees were complaining to the extent that they brought up the situation with my Guru Maharaj. So we called him in. And he said like this. He said, in this creation, in kamshina stito jagat, that this material creation is just like a dark cloud. It's insignificant in the creation of God. And in that dark cloud, there's billions and billions, innumerable universes. And within one universe, there's billions, innumerable planets. One of those planets is the Earth planet. On the Earth, there are millions of cities. And in one city, this Los Angeles, there's millions of people. And millions of homes. And in this one small temple, there's one person who thinks he's very big. That he can boss everyone else around. This isn't the activity or the consciousness of a Vaishnava. Vaishnava means pure. Pure in thought, pure in words, pure in action. Pure in action means how do you relate to other people? Dharma projita kaitavatra paramo nirmatsaranam satam. Vaishnava means he's not envious. He's the well-wishing friend of every living being. Neophyte devotee, he's by nature envious. Archayameva haraye pujamya shadayete na tad bhakteshu chanyeshu sabhakta prakrita smritaha. That he worships the deity very nicely. Sometimes we see pujaris, they have to get big shika and very fancy dhoti and big tilak and diamond earrings are a must. Must have diamond earrings also if you're going to be a big pujari. They worship the deity very nicely, but not tad bhakteshu chanyeshu, they don't know how to treat devotees. Srimad Bhagavatam says this is like doing Agnihotra and just pouring ghee on ashes. Ghee has to go into the fire. We say swaha. Ghee has to go into the fire for there to be any benefit. So if you pour ghee into ashes, can there be any benefit? So worship of the deity without worshipping devotees, respecting Vaishnavas, is useless. Krishna said, someone who says, they're my devotee. They're not my devotee. He told Uddhava. Who is my devotee? That person who says, he's the devotee of my devotee. So this is the first principle of Vaishnavism. To worship, to respect, offer all respect to Vaishnavas, because Vaishnavas are rare. Krishna says in Gita, Manushanam sahasreshu kastya yatiti siddhaye yatadam api siddhanam kastyan mam viti tattvataha. Out of many thousands of jnanis, out of thousands of ordinary persons, you'll find one jnani who asks important questions, most important questions of life. Who am I? Why am I here? Who is God? What is the purpose of life? Why do I have to die? That person is rare. So if you take 1,000 of those rare persons, jnanis, who are inquisitive, jnani cha bharatarshava, Krishna says, only one amongst them will become a devotee. Such a rare thing. Out of billions of living beings, who comes forward to worship Lord Krishna, to sacrifice their time, their prana artha diya vacha, to serve the Lord? Such a rare thing. So should we not offer all respect to such persons? But not tad bhakteshu chanyeshu, neophyte devotee thinks, I'm very great. The symptom of our advancement is described in the next verse. Ishwarita adineshu balisheshu dvisatsucha prema martikrupopeksha yakuroti samadhyama. Madhyam bhakta means he wants to develop love, prema, for Ishwar, for the Supreme Lord. Maharaj was saying, I had to laugh the other day. Huh? You were saying the other day, they say love of God, but love of dog, love of woman, love of intoxication, love of food. What does love mean? Love of God is the only actual love. There's no other real love. So prema maitri, we want to develop love, prema, for Ishwar. And we want to develop loving, friendly relationships with devotees. Tadadineshu means the devotees. Those persons who are associated with the Lord. This is our prayer, our only prayer. Govinda Vallabhe Radhe Prarthayatam Aham Sada Tadiyamiti Janu Tvadiya Mam. We want to be Tvadiya, considered part of Krishna's family. His Tvadiya means those things in relationship with the Lord. This is our objective. And someone who aspires to that, we want to develop friendly relationship. And Bali Sheshu, for those persons who are innocent, we show kripa or mercy. This is what it means to be a Vaishnava also. To be pure in hearted, that you're the well-wishing friend. Surida sarvabhutanam gyatam mam shanti. Krishna is a well-wishing friend. Should we not also be well-wishing friend of every living being? We can't claim to be Vaishnava unless we have this quality of our heart, that our heart bleeds to see the suffering of the living entities in this material world. If someone had not shown us mercy, would we be sitting here today? Every one of us. Maharaj is out sitting, his mercy of his grandfather. Go do pranam, take dust of his feet. Find a guru. Become a Vaishnava. Every one of us is sitting here today by the mercy of another Vaishnava. How to repay that? We cannot. We can hope to repay it by doing the same thing they did for us. Being that person in someone else's life. We can hope to repay. So Bali Sheshu and Dvisatsucha. For envious person, we neglect him. Upeksha. We have no need to argue. What is the point to argue with a person that will never be convinced? You waste your time, you become agitated. This is, in a nutshell, this is the whole internet experience. argumentative persons with a keyboard and an attitude. We don't waste our time with people like this. And the most useless thing about it is that there's parity between some person who can't even follow rules and regulations of bhakti. He may have all bad habits, but he's got a keyboard, and a sannyasi acharya also has a keyboard. And they have parity on the internet. He can write, acharya can write, and all the most obnoxious things happen on such. Internet is simply full of Vaishnava Paran. We reject that. Upeksha. We don't want that. Upeksha. We reject that. So these are some of the principles of purity. Purity isn't a rubber stamp. Purity of action, purity of words. Purity of words means we speak Shastra. We don't have an opinion. Na shastra vinemutshaja vartate kamakarata nasa siddhim avapnoti na sukham na param gatim. If we expect to go back to Godhead, we have to follow Shastra. We have to teach Shastra. We don't say, it is my opinion. You not hear Maharaj saying, it is my opinion, this and such. This is what Lord says in Gita. This is what Acharya says. This is what the sadhus say in Bhagavatam. This is what the Supreme Personality of Godhead said. His opinion. This is our presentation of Krishna Bhakti. We don't have an opinion. This is purity in words, purity in thought. We can hide our thought from the world, what's going on in our mind. You can't hide from Krishna. He says in Gita, Upadashtanumanta cha bhukta bharta maheshwara paramatmeti chapyukto dehismin purushapara. That there is another person who's witnessing everything in our own heart. Upadashta, Anumanta. He's giving permission. He's seeing everything. He knows every beat of your heart, every breath, every thought. So we can appear in the public. No one wants to appear to be fallen devotee. We want everyone to respect us very much. Oh, he's a very nice devotee. Very fixed up devotee. But what is in our mind? This is the struggle for a neophyte devotee. Krishna says, Manmana, Bhavamad Bhakto. You think of me. Bhaja Huremana, Shri Nandanandana, Abhaya Charana Aravinda. Think of Krishna, become Krishna's devotee. Our progress in spiritual life is largely internal. Krishna is not impressed with your tilak or your dress. He wants to see what is your purity. What is your mind? That is a difficult thing. Arjuna said to Krishna, family member of the Lord, Chanchalam hemana Krishna pramati balavadjidam tasyaham nigraham mayur eva sudushkaram. That my mind is obstinate, difficult to control, more difficult to control than the wind. This is Arjuna. He's sitting in the same bed, eating with Krishna. He's laughing with Krishna. He's joking with Krishna. Krishna is driving his chariot. What is our position? Very difficult to control the mind. Krishna recommends, Yato yato nischalati manas chanchalam astiram tatastato nayam yaitad atmaneva vasham nayam. That the wherever and whatever your mind goes, drag it back under control of the self. Because the mind is what? Astiram. It doesn't like to stay fixed on one thing. It's chanchal. It's always jumping here and there and everywhere. So, how is it possible? Abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasa nanya gamena paramam purusham divyam yati partha anuchintayan. Krishna says by abhyasa, by practice. We practice mental control. We practice control of speech. We practice purity of body. This is the whole essence of sadhana bhakti. And by sadhana, Krishna is not controlled. We don't get Krishna by sadhana. We practice. This is a paradox. We can't get Krishna by sadhana. But we have to practice sadhana. How do we get Krishna? Maharaj quoted such a beautiful verse from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Krishna se tomar. Krishna dite par. Tomara shakati ache ameto kangal. Krishna Krishna bole daitava pache pache. First thing, understand we're kangal. We're beggars. Krishna doesn't have to give His mercy. We get His mercy when we run after Acharya. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. They're begging for mercy. Then maybe some lifetime or other we may get mercy from Krishna. Because Krishna say Tomar, Krishna is the property of the devotee. We don't get Krishna from Krishna. We get Krishna from devotee. This is the secret of practice of Krishna Bhakti. You want Krishna? Get Krishna from pure devotee. But for that, we have to be pure in intention. All of these other things, charity and Rajagun, put my name in a plaque, not a marble plaque, it has to be brass plaque, bronze plaque, in big letters. Recognize my contribution. What can we give to Krishna? Nothing. You can't give Krishna anything that's not already his. What is that one thing that we can't give him that he doesn't own? That is our love. He doesn't own our love. He owns us in every way. Every beat of our heart is a grace of the Lord. But he doesn't own our love. This is bhakti. To offer our love. Premanjana charita bhakti vilochenena santak sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti yam shama sundaram achinta guna surupam govindam mari purusham tamahamidham. That those persons whose eyes are imbued, were anointed with the salve of love, the anjana of prema, they always see Krishna. Santa sadaiva hridayeshu. They never forget Krishna. They see Krishna within everything and in every circumstance of life. From that person, we get Krishna. Not from any useless guy on the street. Not from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhu used to call them foppish. They dress very fancy. They appear to be very first-class devotee, but they don't have Krishna. You can't get Krishna from. Find Krishna from devotees like Srila Saraswati Thakur, who lived under in a hut chanting Shatakoti Nam for 10 years. He took the vow to chant 1 billion names. It took him 10 years living in a hut, and the rain would pour through the roof of the hut, and he'd have to sit there with an umbrella, with the mosquitoes, with the snakes, with no proper food. Why? To become qualified to present Krishna Bhakti to the world. These are the devotees we want to preach. We want to approach. These are the devotees that Krishna saved Tomar. Krishna becomes their property. You can't find Krishna in the bazaar. You won't find Krishna on Amazon.in. You won't find Krishna on the internet. You'll find Krishna in the heart of pure devotee. So we surrender to pure devotees. And these are some of the principles of purity. Thank you very much. Prabhuji?